Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Lords of Waterdeep. This is the digital adaptation of the popular board game, and in that board game, well, it's a worker placement game where you're putting workers out on the board to get resources and then spend those resources in order to complete quests and different things like that. It's all themed around D&D. So, I was going through my board game collection the other day, and I saw my Lords of Waterdeep core game and my two expansions sitting there, and I'm like, I'd like to play this, but that's a lot to bring out right now. And I'm like, wait, I do have this on a digital platform. So I looked on my Steam library, and yeah, I do own it. I have covered it before, but that was a while ago. And the base game is $10, and each of the two different expansions are $2 each, which is great considering that board games are typically 30 to $50 a piece. This being an older one, yeah, I mean, you're going to be hard pressed to find this for anything less than 100. Like everything, like all the expansions, everything on tabletop form, but on digital, you can get everything for like $15, which is a great deal. And this is a very well put together digital adaptation. There's offline games, there's online games. And offline, you can do like a pass and play. I don't know if remote play is still an option. I didn't see that as a listed feature on the Steam store page, but there is like a pass and play. So you and your friend can sit at the same computer, pass and play that way if you want to. I did check the online section, and it still appears to be very active, even though this digital adaptation was released back in 2017, something like that. I looked, and yeah, people are still talking. They're, asking, does anyone want to play? And there is like a profile system, there's a rating system. You'll be able to search different rooms and just join people, any open games that might be there. So if you're worried that this game like isn't supported, now that it's 7 years later, don't worry, because there's still a lot of activity here. All you need is to create an online account. So at some point those servers will go kaput, but right now they're fine. And even if they do, single player offline mode is still fine, although the AI is very difficult. Now, as I said before, this is a worker placement game themed with a D&D setting. You're going to get a lord, and it's a hidden lord. Like, no one knows who you are. It's just you've got this hidden role. And typically what that means is at the end of the game, you get extra points if you do these things. Typically it's like if you complete skullduggery quests, you'll get extra points. Or if you complete warfare quests, you'll get extra points. Or if you have this, for every money that you have, blah, blah, blah. So you're trying to like watch opponents to see what they might have. And what they're doing to see who their hidden lord might be. Only veterans would really worry about something like that, because as a newcomer, you're not going to know all the different lords that are available, especially with the expansions. But ultimately, what you're doing on your turn, you place one of your workers, and you collect like cubes of different colors. They represent warriors and clerics and different classes that you might be familiar with in D&D. But you also get money, you can gain quests, and you're trying to complete these quests. But you can also construct buildings. This is my favorite part. These act as new spaces that you can land on to do different actions. So in the beginning of the game, you've got the hard-coded actions that are on the board, but as players build structures, these buildings, it includes new ones. So yeah, the list of action spaces will increase. Now, the two different expansions offer some unique things. The Skullport, I think, is the better of the two. The Skullport expansion introduces a corruption track. So as you do different actions, like they're powerful actions, they get you a lot of resources, but you go up the corruption track, and that's worth negative points at the end of the game. So it's a risk-reward kind of situation. But each expansion unlocks typically new spots to land on, like separate boards that you can. There are different action spaces on these new boards that are introduced to the game. So, like, it introduces more action spaces. The Skullport introducing action spaces that give you corruption. It introduces new quests and new intrigue cards, which are like action cards that you can play. And from a digital format, like the pass and play, the game does a good job of like recapping everything for you and hiding information. It'll say this player needs to go next, and everyone else needs to like hide their eyes. And when that player looks and clicks, it'll replay everything the other players just did so that the other players don't have to describe what they're doing. They can just watch the computer recap everything for them at the beginning of their turn so that they can see what everyone else did. I think that's really cool and very well done. And admittedly, if you're not familiar with the interface, like, yeah, you're not going to know what it all means right away. Now, the AI, like I said, there's different difficulty settings with the AI, like easy, medium, hard, but even on easy, it's challenging. I just will warn you of that. And these games tend to run a little long. So you can like exit and come back later, and you can even create multiple games. So if you are one of those people that can juggle multiple games, you could totally do that. So do I recommend this? Absolutely. For $10 for the core game, $2 for each of the DLC packs. If you have to wait for a sale, go ahead, but good luck finding this cheaper in board game format, especially for all of the expansions. So yeah, this is Vince. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care.